Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Just a quick match reaction to the game at Molineux at weekend. Left it a day to die down. Been a bit busy. Things going on at home, extensions and things like that. So yeah, I've had builders all over the gaff. But yeah, Wolves away, coming back off an international break, bottom of the league. Wolves, people telling everyone it was going to be easy. But the typical City fan in us always has that little bit of doubt, even going into the ground at Molineux. People saying, what do you think today? It could be a banana skin. People thinking about last season when Wolves put it on us there. And rightly so. I was on the Big Six show last night and I mentioned that anyone that's watched Manchester City this season will tell you that it's not the same team at the minute. We're not playing as well as we usually do. The Rodri size hole in midfield is affecting us. The Kevin De Bruyne missing is affecting us. And it feels like every game at the minute is tough. And I feel like most of the time we're making it tough for ourselves. The defence, which is not a bad defence, is conceding goals, which it never used to. But I feel that's down to the Rodri issue. I don't think Rodri allows transitions. I don't think Rodri allows a lot of these cross-field balls to penetrate us. I think he gets across, extra cover all the time. It's definitely a problem at the minute, and nobody can deny it. The starting lineup came out. It is exactly what I thought. I thought Doku and Savinho away at Wolves, them low on confidence, not feeling too well, feeling like they're hard done to. I thought, let's put it on them from the off. You know what I mean? I thought it's a great lineup for me. Kyle Walker injured, Rico Lewison at right back, midfield Bernardo, Kovacic, Gundo, Savinho on the right, Doku on the left, and the big man up front. So looking at the side, no questions. The game starts and City's in control. We're not looking worried. We're not looking any, out of shape or anything. Thinking fair enough, we're just going to kill them. Million passes, we'll kill them. One long ball over to the right, go over the head of Guardiola, sets Semedo free. And fair play to Semedo. Wolves, it was a great cross. He puts one of them crosses in the box where defenders hate it. It's got you spinning, it's got you twisting. And the big striker up front for Wolves puts it in the bottom corner, and Wolves are winning 1-0. And you're thinking then, Jesus, this season, the amount of goals we're conceding, I think we've come from behind about 7 times or something. And it's like any other team, then that happens. But with Manchester City over the years, that just doesn't happen. We're not conceding this level of goals. And then Wolves are in a sticky position then. Do they stick or twist? They've got the noses in front against Man City at home. Do they carry on putting the pressure on and go for it and maybe get caught? Or do they sort of sit back a little bit and hold on to what they've got? They sat back a little bit, defended well, I thought. City, again, this season for about the 8th time, have caused a situation where a team is now going to defend on their own 12-yard line, and Manchester City are trying to get through. I said it last night on the show. If we had a player that could ping it from outside the box like a De Bruyne or a Rodri, these teams couldn't do that because Kevin De Bruyne would be lining them up on the edge of the box and be pinging them in. At the minute, we've got Ruben Diaz and, the centre-backs, Johnny Stones, everyone getting the ball on the edge of the box, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Excuse me. Jeremy Doku said at the beginning of the season, Savinho and Doku were going to get some scintillating games where they destroy everyone. We're also going to get some frustrated ones. Very frustrating from Jeremy again. He was beating his man. He wasn't getting a crossing. He was running into dead ends. Savinho on the other side, I thought, had a little bit of an end product. He was bringing it down. He was trying to cut in and shoot. He was recycling it when he didn't have any room. And he was trying to keep it moving. I think Jeremy's just, blast it into somebody, or he'll cut in and do a daft shot. But saying that, he did set up the goal, the equaliser, and what a goal it was. Josko Vardiol, you know what I mean? Fantastic talent, brilliant player for City. Now adding goals to his game. technically for a centre back stroke fullback, he's a very, very gifted player. We're going down that left hand side. We'd huffed and puffed. I think Savino had a couple of shots saved low down. I think Bernardo Silva hit one. That Sarr save low down, brilliant save from him. He had a tremendous game, in my opinion. And then it was just a simple Doku on the edge of the box, just rolls it into Guardiola. They didn't think anything of it. They're just thinking it's Guardiola, it's going to get past. Anyway, he lines it up with his right foot. He curls it in the top corner. Brilliant goal. The keeper got a hand to it, but no one's stopping that, you know what I mean? And we find ourselves on level terms, which was a relief, because I was starting to feel like maybe it was going to be one of them games where we're literally on the edge of the box again, side to side, frustrating, side to side, frustrating, which is becoming a regular thing now. Do you know what I mean? Second half starts, he swaps the wingers over, pretty much the same as the first half ended. You know what I mean? Manchester City on the edge of the box, Manchester City pressing, trying to get through, couldn't get through. We brought on some substitutes late in the game. He got Phil Foden on there. Now, just let me have a drink of me, bro. A lot of people coming up to me at the match asking me, Steve, do you know what's wrong with Foden? There's something's got to be wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know why he doesn't start. I don't know what the illness was that he's supposed to have had in the season. Lots of rumours going around, but he definitely does not look the same player at the minute. You know what I mean? Whether he needs to get going, I don't know. These international breaks don't help. Stop, start. But I feel like we've got a good run of games now to get Phil involved. He came on against Wolves and he did okay. Do you know what I mean? I don't like him coming off the right hand side. I don't. But he was getting the ball in the middle and he was quickening it up a little bit for us in there. But oh god, sorry, it was a late one last night, the Big Six. But time will tell with Phil. He's got to get up to speed. We know he's a fantastic player. He needs to get up to speed, maybe grab a goal, get his confidence back, and keep it going. Jack Grealish, on the other hand, on the left, I thought did really well when he came on. I was arguing with Toby on the Big Six. He hates Jack Grealish. He keeps talking about Jack Grealish hasn't done this, hasn't done that. But Jack Grealish, you know, he's not going to be that player at Aston Villa that we saw. Pep's got that right out of him. It's the Jack Grealish we know. We're going to get control. We're going to get the ball. We're not going to lose it with him. And he's starting to create things. So Jack come on for me after a good performance for England. So I thought he did okay. The one I wanted to talk to people about is Matheus Nunes. Matheus Nunes was bought for a reason. Nobody knows the reason. We saw in the last minutes against Wolves, he come chasing back. He anchored his foot round, pulled the ball back from the Wolves player. He went driving on with the ball. Now, this is a kind of Rodri style midfield play with a bit of energy that we probably need. You know, looking at our midfield of Bernardo, Kovacic and Gundo, there's a lot of old legs in there. Bernardo Silva has got a little bit of energy, but he's not the fastest in the world. But with Kovacic, he's excelling for me. I feel like Kovacic is stepping up to the plate with Rodri going, and he's driving us, and he's doing what we need. And Gundogan coming back, he's not the Gundogan we all, the one that left. It's not that Gundo, you know what I mean? He's not that. We've got to get that in our heads. You know, we let him go for a reason. We didn't feel, you know, that we'd miss him. We got an opportunity to take him back on a free transfer, and we did. And thank God we did, by the way, because it looks like we're really low on numbers in there. But he's coming in and he's ticking along. He's got the experience. He's got the clever head. And I think that's all you're going to get from Gundo now. You're just going to get that bit part player. But he's been forced into the first team because of Rodri's missing. If Rodri's there, Gundo's coming on for 20 minutes here and there. Gundo's starting at home against Sparta Prague, etc. He isn't getting thrown in, week out. But unfortunately, that's the way we are. But Matheus Nunes is a young lad. He's a young lad. They need to get him on that training ground, and he needs to get into this midfield for me and start giving it the energy and sorting his career out. You know, because he's got the potential. And, you know, in the past when players have been injured, people step up. This is his time. This is his chance to step up for me. He's got to step up, you know. 2 games coming up now, Sparta Prague, Southampton at home. Play Nunes in the midfield in both of them games. Get him up to speed, get some game time in his legs, get 90 minutes under his belt, and let's see what he can do. Because for me, we are short on options. And if we carry on playing the way we're playing, which is not very well, it won't be long before somebody hands us our ass. And I don't ever want to say that. I'm a Man City supporter, and I don't ever want to say that. But at the minute, we're getting away with it. We're playing badly and winning. And that can be a good sign, don't get me wrong. But we need the Kevin De Bruyne's back. We need Nathan Ake back. Yeah? We need to find a solution in the midfield. We need Matheus Nunes to step up and start earning his corn. You know what I mean? You can't be relying on an Ilkay Gundogan back on a free to save us when we've got a player we paid, what, 50, 60 million for. So I think Pep's got to find a solution with that. The defensive solution as well, Rico Lewis. I think Rico plays okay. I think he carries the ball well. He does it, but sometimes he gets into little dead ends for me. He gets to the edge of the box or near the area and he doesn't find that final pass, or he'll turn around and go backwards. I think Rico Lewis is a steady player and he's learning. But my back four would include John Stones at right back. I feel like the treble winning season, when we went to a flat back four of centre-backs, Johnny Stones coming in off the right into the midfield, or even Akanji playing on the right and Stones in the middle and going into midfield. I feel like we're a lot better defensively with that back four. But it's going to be interesting to see what Pep does. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays it. We've got Sparta Prague on Wednesday, and then we've got Southampton at home. You can't even look at Southampton at home and think, well, we're obviously going to batter them, because teams are scoring against us. And it's usually the smaller teams that we don't expect, the ones that are getting in and scoring. So that could be a madness. But anyway, there was nothing madder than this game. 95 minutes on the clock. We're on our fourth corner. The ball kept getting swung in and coming out and all that. The King of the North, Johnny Stones, the cult hero of the South Stand, comes from nowhere. 95th minute, bang, heads it in. Well, all I can say in the away end is there were scenes, madness scenes. And I was on the back row. And my mate Spivey from Salford, he was on the back row as well. And behind us here is the executive boxes. So I'm ballooning. I've turned around. Spivey's up on his seat, banging on the glass. I'm next to him on my seat, banging on the glass. There's a load of people in this box with beers and food just looking at me as if to say, fuck off. We've just done us last minute. I'm banging on the glass. Wow, Johnny Stones, Johnny Stones. Guys there have a fork with a roast potato on it looking at me thinking, look at this twat here. And then all of a sudden they all start laughing and going, and all that. And I'm thinking, what are they laughing at? I look round, I see in the corner of my eye, the scoreboard, VAR, disallowed goal, offside. Well, you've never seen me slide down a piece of glass as slow as an embarrassed in your life. I got down like that. And I was there and the box was behind me and they were banging on the glass. They're trying to find me. Yeah, I was leaning back like that thinking, oh my God. I looked over to Spivey. Yeah, he's the same, ill with it. I'm thinking, there's nothing worse. VAR is a humbler, man. It fucking is a humbler. You know, you're giving it the big in 1 minute and then your world ends the next. And then I'm thinking, what's all this about? So then the rumours in the crowd was, oh, Bernardo's offside, this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, it was a corner. How can he be offside? You know what I mean? Anyway, they get the referee to go look to the screen, which usually means, yeah, that the decision on the scoreboard is going to be upheld and it's not going to be a goal. Anyway, he gives the goal. And rightfully so. We've seen this season teams put it on goalkeepers, especially Arsenal. 2 big lads blocking the keeper, banging into him, knocking him about. Nothing said. Bernardo Silva, who's a dwarf, like Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones, against 6'6" Sarr, gives him the little nudge. If he gives me a nudge, I'm pushing him away. But that nudge doesn't. The goal went in above his head here. He was perfectly set for that. So instead of whinging about Bernardo Silva doing little things like that, whinge why nobody marked John Stones. Wolves fans, ask yourself why nobody marked John Stones. Because John Stones had a free header and he put it over the keeper. And I thought Bernardo Silva was clever. Just ignore the drilling. I'm having murders here. Bernardo Silva was clever. I feel like he nudged the goalkeeper, then he got down low on his knees. But what made me laugh in all this, was the Wolves fans singing Premier League corrupt as fuck. Well, I'm not being funny, lads. There was a court case the other week. A court case. And your name was on the side of the Premier League. Now, if you're going to court giving testament for the Premier League and then singing Premier League is corrupt as fuck, you need to make your mind up, lads, because at the end of the day, they're your boys. That's your gang. You stood with them in the trenches. So don't be blaming the Premier League. And I thought any team in that league other than Wolves, after all the shit they get thrown at them and decisions they get, would be standing in court with the Premier League, but they did. So at the end of the day, we got out of jail. We got the last minute goal. We got out of jail and we move. But anyone with a pair of eyes knows that Manchester City performance was very, very lacklustre. Anybody with a pair of eyes knows that there's something wrong there and we need to put it right. Sorry about the drilling. They've decided to rock up just as I'm doing the podcast and they're smashing hell out of my house at the minute. But we're near the end. It was a great win. Good scenes. I grabbed my mate Spivey at the end and said, thank God that goal stood because we looked like absolute tossers, and we did. But again, we're dominating teams. These teams are setting up on the edge of the box. They're saying to Manchester City, come and break us down. We're getting to the edge of the box. We're passing the ball about. It's so frustrating to watch. But we're going to get this most of the season. No one is opening up against us. And people going on about Erling Haaland. Let me tell you about Erling Haaland, right? In them games, Erling Haaland, it's not on Erling Haaland. A, he's not getting any crosses in the box. B, he's not getting any balls into his feet. And C, if you're camping on the edge of their box, there's no point trying to roll the ball into Erling Haaland, who's in the middle of the park with 9 defenders around him. That's not the way it is. And then he's saying, well, but why don't you get to the edge of the box and have a couple of shots? He's not going to do that. In that situation, I know it sounds daft. If you're up against a low block like that, we probably need somebody who can shoot from the edge of the box to come on. Earl's wasted. But saying that, he is causing murders in the box. He's smashing into people. He's wrestling people. He's dragging people all over. So while he's not involved in the game with the ball, he's definitely involved in the game without the ball, because them centre-backs cannot keep their eyes off him. If they switch off for a second and he gets clear, you know it's in. So at the end of the day, we're going to get these games with Earl. We're going to get the games that we have, but he's still going to win the Golden Boot, 100%. And next game, he'll probably go and score 4. So people need to relax with that. He can't do it every game. Some games, tactically, the game is different. Some games you're going to get midfield dominating. Some games you're going to get strikers dominating. Some games you're going to get wingers dominating. Some games you're going to get the defence brilliant. Some games you're going to get defence poor. It's only the same with Erling. Depends what he's up against. Depends how the pattern of play moves out. But that's just the way it is. But anyway, people, the builders are smashing shit out of my house. Manchester City 2. Wolves 1. That's my match reaction. Don't panic yet. Let's keep it, cool. And let's get behind the boys. Sparta Prague Wednesday and Southampton at weekend. Leave a like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Come on, City.